Welcome back to my channel where today I am going to be doing a Manchester United versus Liverpool preview. Still the biggest game in English football, but contrasting fortunes for both teams. Manchester United lying in 12th place at this present moment in time, and Liverpool looking to get 18 wins in a row. But they go to the home of their fiercest rivals at the weekend, looking for 9 wins in a row. As you can see, I'm not on my own today. I am joined by That Utd Family, Mr Karl Edgar.
How's it going, mate? You alright?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, mate. Apart from the football, I'm alright.
Yeah, as I was saying, it is contrasting fortunes. How would you describe your season so far?
Shite. To round it in one word, mate. Yeah, it's not very good. It's one of them, like, pre-season was like, it looked pretty promising. We played like Spurs. We looked good against Spurs. Who else did we play? I can't remember. I've had such a bad time. But it looked good, do you know what I mean? With the high press and the attack of football was there. And all of a sudden you come into the Premier League season, like, obviously we sold a few players, like losing Lukaku and Sanchez. Lukaku's a big loss. It was 40 goals in 2 years, 42 goals in 2 years. So you're taking essentially 20 goals a season out of your team, replacing them with nobody, or a 17-year-old or 18-year-old now, Mason Greenwood. It was always going to be a struggle. Obviously, Herrera leaves and not being replaced, midfield looking thin, and it is what it is. Like, but people were labouring in it. The season of fun before the start of the season, a season where we give Ollie a couple of transfer windows, and there's the social media fans, essentially, like, because the match going fans, are more than willing to give him time, but it seems to have just gone dead horrible, and like, everyone's, obviously you should know, you've seen on Twitter, like, everyone's so split with Ollie in, Ollie out. It's just mad, mate. So yeah, it's not going great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just combusted by it all. Like, I can't believe that many people want Ollie out, especially that he's only just been, appointed permanent manager. Yes, things are not going very, very well, and yeah, you do need to give him time. But yeah, like you say, the fan base is completely divided. But I know that you and Emma and all your kids are Ollie in, aren't you?
Yeah, you've got to, and it's not even the fact that he's a club legend. Like, it could be anyone. It could be Poch that came in. It could have been anyone, right? Mourinho could have come back, and I would have said, give this manager time. Like, you can't keep sacking managers. Obviously, LVG went after he won an FA Cup. Mourinho got sacked after probably having the best season since Fergie in trophies wise. Football wise, don't get me wrong, wasn't great, but again, the squad wasn't that great either. So Ollie's come in now, and you've got to realise that this team, it's got bits of Fergie's team left in there. It's got LVG's players in there. It's got Mourinho's players in there. And the 3 players that Ollie has brought in Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Maguire and Dan James, are arguably our best 3 players of this season. And for all the people saying, get Ollie out, the results are poor. The results are poor, and the football has deteriorated over the weeks, don't be wrong, and I'm not fully saying that he's not blameless, because tactically he could do better, substitutions he could do better with, but in hindsight you look at it and go, right, he's working with 4 previous managers' squad. He's moved players out that fans were whinging about being at the club, and I think the board have kicked him in the nuts a little bit with the whole Lukaku thing. Obviously selling Lukaku Lukaku and Sanchez, selling them both after the window shut. Obviously that's done him in, and I think Ollie is probably covering for him a little bit, saying, it was my choice to go with Greenwood, Martial and Rashford, but at the end of the day they're his bosses, do you know what I mean, so we can't upset him too much, but it's madness, mate. You've got to give him time. You've got to give him 3-4 windows. He's got a 3-year contract. No, I'll finish in the bottom half this season as long as we buy in January, and in the summer he gets backed again with another 2 or 3, 4 players. If we sign 2 players in January, 4 players in the summer, and then we're still bottom end of the table, then you've got to start asking the questions.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, go back to the first game of the season. Obviously, you won 4-0 against Chelsea. Now, I watched that game, and half of me was thinking that, okay, I did think United would beat Chelsea, but the 4-0 was a wee bit surprising because if you remember that first 10 to 15 minutes, Chelsea could have been about 2-0 up. So was that 4-0 game a little bit of a fluke?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say it was a fluke. Granted, like you say, we could have been 2-0 down quite early. Obviously, I was there at the bar. I think Tammy went at the bar and at the postons. I think we were just a bit more clinical. I think we had 5 shots on goal and scored 4 of them. And I think that's just because the first game of the season, it's a massive game for the first game of the season, Chelsea at home. And I think everyone was just a bit up for it. Like Rashford looked spot on. Martial got a goal. It's... And I don't know what's changed. Like you said, I don't think it was a fluke. I think we were just a bit more clinical than Chelsea. Obviously, 2 new managers, taking on each other with their old clubs, if that makes sense. 2 former players got probably the dream jobs at the end of the day. Lampard always said he wanted to be a manager of Chelsea, and Ole Solskjaer always said, when he left the reserves, he said, "I want to come back one day." So I think it was the occasion more than a fluke, and I think the players just wanted it a bit more.
Yeah, I think obviously 4-0, top of the league, the first week of the season, and then obviously it's going a wee bit downhill from there. But yeah, I mean, looking at that game, obviously Rashford scored twice. His form's been a bit patchy. I don't really want to ask these questions, but do you think that his new contract is affecting his form?
Potentially. But I don't think he benefits from playing as the 9, no. I don't think he benefits playing as the striker. Obviously, he's been forced to play there because Mason Green was too young. You can't just chuck him in. Martial's injured, so Rashford's your only option. I think you play him from the left, you see a totally different game from him. Playing from the left-hand side, like for England, he's got tricks in his box. You know what I mean? He can get past the player, and he's got a wicked shot on him. Yeah, contract maybe, or it might be just people getting on his back. And I think people are too quick to judge. He's a 21-year-old lad. I know he's been in the first team for 4 years or whatever, and he's actually been lighting it up since he's joined, since he's come up from the youth. But at the end of the day, he is 21. I know he's played a lot of games, but his form will be patchy. He's a young lad. Yeah. He is still learning the game. Do you know what I mean? And I think over the years, he's been a bit mismanaged with, LVG and Mourinho and stuff like that. So he's been trying to learn 3 different philosophies of football, and he's 21. So that's another thing with time. Do you know what I mean? Give Ollie time, and he might start firing.
Yeah, I think. I remember when he first came onto the scene that he, those 2 goals against Arsenal, he was absolutely flying, and then he scored a couple after that as well. Yeah, I do agree with you. I think Martial is the better striker.
Yeah,
and I think he is better out left. And I think the one thing is, I think out left he's much better, as we saw midweek for England against Bulgaria. And there's one game that reminds me of that when he gave Trent Alexander-Arnold a real torn time. It was a 2-1 game in 2016-2017 where Rashford basically tore him apart. Can you see something similar at the weekend?
I don't know. Do you know what? It's going to be interesting. It will be an interesting game because we play a lot better against teams that want to take the lead and step into the game. Like you're going to... I will take you having 70% of the possession of a game and then we win 1-0. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what happened with the Chelsea game. They pushed up so high and pushed us back so deep, which there was so much room in behind. And I think that the way we could end up beating you lot is because your fullbacks love to be... They're so high up the pitch of Robertson and Trent because they don't like to defend. They're not very defensive fullbacks, are they? And it goes with the style of Klopp's play. Do you know what I mean? And fair play, play decent football. But I think we'll end up leaving maybe if Rashford does play wide and Dan James on the other wing, we'll leave them so high up to try and get him behind. Because is Joel Matip injured?
He is fit as far as I'm aware, so I think he will probably come straight back in.
Yeah, so you got Matip and Van Dijk, who aren't the quickest centre backs in the world, are they? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you leave too much space in behind, and I think we could punish it. Like Rashford rapid, Dan James rapid, and you might even see Mason Greenwood get a start.
Yeah, I have to admit, Dan James has really impressed me since he's come to Manchester United, I think he's probably been the best signing of Ollie's tenure. I mean, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I mean, no one gets past Wan-Bissaka. I think that's the same. England have got really two of the best right backs now in world football now, in Wan-Bissaka and Alexander-Arnold. So, Mane versus Wan-Bissaka is going to be a very interesting battle, I think.
Yeah, I like Mane as well. Mane's a very good player. Obviously, he's come on loads since he signed up for Southampton. You got one of the scariest front threes in world football at the minute. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool. So it's and Shaw comes back in, which he might do, and you got Maguire. The question is, who's going to start with Maguire? Is it going to be Lindelof? Is it going to be Axel Tuanzebe? Obviously, Lindelof didn't play for Sweden, I don't think, midweek.
Yeah,
he was on the bench. Obviously, we've lost De Gea to injury. Like you say, Wan-Bissaka's going to be decent. It depends, mate. I wouldn't mind seeing Axel at centre back trying to control, your front three. But it is what it is. It's a scary thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've just got down on my notes here. So obviously, injury news wise, De Gea, Pogba, and Lingard are out as far as I'm aware. Martial, Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, and Shaw likely to feature. How big a blow is it to lose David De Gea and Paul Pogba?
Yeah, it is a big one. De Gea is a big one, isn't he? Obviously, we've been dealing with Pogba for a few weeks now, but De Gea is the big one. But on the flip side to that, Romero's never really let us down. Do you know what I mean? He's the best second choice goalkeeper in the world. There is no better second choice goalkeeper in this league.
No.
And he's Argentina's number one. He's at 100 odd caps for Argentina or something, I think it is, or 80, 90 odd caps for Argentina. Do you know what I mean? It's a worry, but on the flip side, it's not at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So who would you play at left back? Would you, obviously with Luke Shaw coming back in, would you play Ashley Young or Luke Shaw?
If Shaw's fit, I'd go with Shaw. If he's not fit, I'd play Brandon Williams, mate. I would. I'd go with Brandon Williams if Shaw's not fit, because Young just needs to give it up. Did you know what I mean? He's not even a right back, and we're playing him at left back now. Yeah. So it's harsh to say, oh, you get Young out of the club, and he's 34 now, I think. Yeah. Converted right back from a right winger that's playing left back to cover injuries. So I'd rather put a left back in and put Brandon Williams in there.
Yeah, I know. I think that this is the worrying thing, though. He's the club captain, and he is still getting games, and that is a main worry, because obviously I would think that De Gea would probably be captain if he was available, and obviously if Ashley Young was not playing, then obviously De Gea would be captain. But do you see Martial starting this game? Because obviously I have been reading reports that there has been talk that he's only been sort of physio training, not actually training with the first team. So could you see him starting, or do you think we'll see him for the bench?
I think he'll be on the bench. I'd love to see him start, don't get me wrong. I hope he's ready, but we need him ready, because there isn't really an option there. Do you know what I mean? If you don't play Martial, then you're going to see either Andreas Pereira or Mata from the right, which is no good. Yeah. Neither of them are right wingers. Obviously, Rashford would play the 9 and Dan James on the left, but if Martial's fit enough to play him, even if you get an hour out of him, just chuck him in. I would, in this game anyway.
Yeah, considering his impact from 2015, 2016, when he came off the bench and tore Skirtle a new one. So,
mate, that was one of the best goals I've ever seen. Not because it was a good, well, it was a good goal, but like the whole, he came in, and everyone was like, "Who's this kid? What a waste of money!" And then he just sat Skirtle down, and the commentary was ace as well.
Yeah, it was really, really, it was very, very impressive. Let's have a look at the last games between the sides, because obviously we won 3-1 at Anfield last season, and lot has been said that obviously this could be the game that Klopp gets Ollie sacked. I really don't see it that way, but if I remember the 3-1 game, you were probably the dominant team in that sort of first 30-35 minutes, and then the second half, I don't know what happened to United, but they just didn't look like a United side. And I tell you, the one change that made that game that did not really make any sense was Fellaini for Delot.
Yeah, mate. It's what happens. People make stupid decisions. I don't know what's been happening to this club over the last couple of years. It's just broken, mate. And obviously Sunday is going to be a big one because I'm confident, mate. I don't think we'll get spanked, but there is fans that say it could be 8-0. Do you know what I mean? So, it is what it is. If Ollie doesn't make stupid decisions like the past couple of years managers have, then we'll be right.
Have you managed to see much of Liverpool this season?
Yeah, bits and bobs, mate. I've watched when you played Norwich, didn't you?
Yeah.
And obviously, what was the score? You won, didn't you, heavily?
It was 4-1, but Norwich
4-1, yeah.
really played really, really well that day and could have had a couple of goals because they attacked really, really well. It was just defensively they weren't great, but had they took their chances, that could have been a closer scoreline than many people would have predicted.
Exactly. Like I say, I've seen bits and bobs, mate, but not I don't take time to watch Liverpool.
Obviously not.
Just because it upsets me, mate. You were rubbish for years, and now look at you. Now we're rubbish.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, we haven't really played very well in any of our games this season, and we've been scraping through. I mean, obviously Chelsea we scraped through 2-1. Obviously Leicester last week, 2 weeks ago, we scraped through 2-1. We lost against Napoli. We beat Salzburg 4-3. So that is the mark of a good team. And obviously with City, dropping more points to Wolves, which was really, really strange considering that Wolves have been really poor so far. It's a very, very good time to be a Liverpool fan. But I just want to get your take on the ownership of Manchester United, the Glazers and Ed Woodward. Now, a lot has been said that this is similar to our situation where we had Hicks and Gillette. How much of a burden has that been on the ownership, and obviously with players being brought in?
It's massive, isn't it? They're just useless. They're not football people. They don't even like football. They're never there. I mean, they're never at the games. They're never in Manchester. They're just there to siphon money out of the club, and then nothing ever gets reinvested. We only ever spend money, and then it gets made bad up. But what was the net spend this year? 70 million quid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're like, yeah, rebuild. And I think Ollie gets it in the neck a little bit for the board. Obviously at Everton, he said, I will be successful here. After the Everton game, we lost 4-0. I will be successful here, and a lot of these players won't be here to see that success. And I think that's genuine from him. And I think he's probably gone to the board and gone, right, I want these out of here, and I want you to buy me these players. And there's probably more than 3. Do you know what I mean? He was desperate for a number 10, Ericsson, Dybala. There was loads linked to us. Pepe, I know he plays from the right, but we need a right winger. But all these really good players linked to us, and it never Bruno Fernandes never really materialised. And I think that's down to the board and the Glazers and Woodward not spending the money because obviously the figures came out a couple of weeks ago. We've got net spend on players 60, 70 million quid or whatever, and we've made 650 million quid profit or whatever. Where's that money going?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I pay my money every month or every year to watch this shower of shit, and it's not cheap. Do you know what I mean? I'm paying upwards of 1,100-1,200 quid a year with cup games and that just to go and watch it. And it's frustrating because I think that NFL team were exactly the same. They've not won a Super Bowl in about 15 years since they've taken over. I think that's very vague. That's a very vague stat. That it's something like that. But they're the richest NFL team in America. I think, or one of the richest. Anyway, their profits have double, tripled anyway since the Glazers have been there because they're businessmen. They're there. They buy clubs. They make their money, and that's all they do. That's all they're interested in. Do you know what I mean? And for a football club of the stature of Manchester United, commercial and money shouldn't be the priority because being the biggest club in the world automatically gives you money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you want to stay the biggest club in the world, which obviously in history and prowess at the minute from the past because it's only been 7 years, we're still probably up there with the likes of your Liverpool, Real Madrid's, and stuff like that. But slowly it's going to decline, mate. Share prices going down. There's rumours of one of the Glazers now selling his £220 million stake in the club. I think he owns 13% or whatever. So are they looking to sell? Do you know what I mean? Are they looking to get rid now? Do they see the decline and think, oh my God, we need to leave now because we're in fucking hundreds of millions of pounds of debt.
Yeah,
it's not being serviced, and the interest is being paid off it. So we're just falling into this hole of nothingness, essentially. Do you know what I mean? It's we're sacking managers, we're selling players, we're not bringing any in, or enough players in. And we're 3 points off relegation zone. The first with 8 games this season, whatever it is.
Yeah,
and fans, mate, I tell you, they did a really shrewd move with a point and Ollie, right? Because I don't think he come in as interim, and that was fine. We won 13 out of 15 games or whatever it was. And it was ace. Everyone, the feel factor. That was where the part where the Glazer out thing was massive all over social media. Every day Glazer out, trending on Twitter, and here, there, and everywhere. And then obviously they brought Ollie in, and they brought the feel good factor in, and everyone's gone, oh yeah, to deflect away from that Glazer out thing, and that was a good move for them to take the heat off them. And now, obviously, they messed up with the summer transfer window, and they brought 3 players in and sold more. Potentially the wrong ones, if I'm honest. Lukaku and Sanchez, you can see why Sanchez has gone. Lukaku's obviously gone because he's been a dick, and I don't think Smalling was the centre back that should have gone. It should have been either Rojo or Jones. And I don't like them. Essentially, mate, they need to go, mate. They need to go. They can't just keep milking the cow, mate. Because at the end of the day, if they sack Ollie for no reason, obviously. At the minute, he's probably is sackable, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And some of the fans, half the fans will be like, "Yay!" and the rest of us, mate, will just riot because a club legend is going to take the fall for their shit.
Yeah. Do you know what? I actually miss the days where the top 4 was Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal.
Yeah.
It just says there, a lot of money is obviously coming to the game, and
that's it.
It's really, really sad to see the decline of Manchester United. And if I'm being honest, it's not something I'm enjoying, because obviously you want a really competitive Manchester United. You want a competitive Manchester United to be sort of top 4 challengers every season, and obviously they're battling for titles as well. This is why that. Like you say, the Glazers need to go.
Yeah, mate, it's bad. We've not actually challenged for a title since Ferg. I know we finished second, but 19 points behind the winners isn't a challenge, is it? Do you know what I mean? And it's like you say, it's sad to see that it is difficult now. Like teams that come up from the Championship are getting 150 million quid a time, and
ridiculous.
I have mental, mate. Wolves come up with a decent. When the manager's now? I can't remember the manager. It's totally gone out of my head now.
Espirito Santo.
Yeah, that's him. When he joined Wolves, they had a pretty mediocre team in the Championship, and obviously the owners they're not skint there, so they spent big in the Championship. Obviously Ruben Neves and people like that playing in the Championship was ridiculous, so they won that. They come out and another 150 million quid plus TV money, and they've invested again and signed some real good players. And that's what the game is now. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. Fulham came up, spent 100 million plus the window and failed. And do you know what? The thing is, you're going to see teams just like Bury just fall off the face of the earth because teams come up to the Championship. Pompey's another one. Come up to the Premiership. And then obviously get relegated. And I know they get parachute payments and all that, but it's just too much money in the top league. And then you go down. Obviously, fans don't go to the games anymore because it's not the Premier League. And it's a sad state of affairs, mate. And I think there should be some sort of cap or something on wages, because wages are ridiculous. Our wage structure is fucked, mate. And that's what it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the other half of the Glazers thing. Nothing's managed properly. Like. Does it Marcus Rashford's on more money than Harry Kane?
Yeah, it's
and
crazy.
It blows my mind, mate. Harry Kane's probably one of the deadliest strikers in Europe or world football, and Marcus Rashford is being paid more than him. It doesn't make any sense, mate.
No, it doesn't. I totally agree. Your wage structure is just incredibly over the top. Let's get into the game then. How do you see this game going?
I'm confident, mate. I am. I don't think it'll be a cricket score.
Neither do I.
I reckon I will take I take a draw at home at the minute. At the minute, it pains me to say it, and I want to see us go for it, but I don't think we will. I think we'll probably go into the game. We'll set up pretty defensive, and I think we'll let you have the ball, which is fine, and draw you in, sort of thing, and just counter. I think that's what we need to do. We need to play the counter-attacking football because, like I said at the start, your fullbacks are so attacking. Neither of them are great defenders, but they're brilliant getting forward. Do you know what I mean? Trent Alexander's delivery of the football from wide is absolutely phenomenal, and Andrew Robinson's just as good. Do you know what I mean? So. Two centre backs are top centre backs, but not the quickest, and I think our front three are a lot quicker over 10 yards than probably anyone on the pitch.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, do you know what? It's either going to go one of either way. It's going to go one of either way, mate. I think it's either we'll get battered or we'll snatch a win. I reckon. But I'll take a draw. So I'm covering all bases.
Yeah. Honestly, we've only won twice in the last 10 years at Old Trafford. 2008, 2009, we won 4-1.
Yeah.
And in 2013, 2014, we won 3-0.
Yeah.
And ever since then, there's been a couple of draws, and then obviously that 2016, 2017 defeat. I'm never confident going into these games, I must be honest. As I've said many, many times, form goes out the window for these games. So you can never, ever tell. But like you say, I don't think it's going to be a cricket score. I really, really don't. I do think, though, that, like you say, I do think you will set up to defend. I think you'll let us, like you say, have the ball. I think you'll also attack us on the counter attack, which you're really, really good at. So that's something to be wary of. But yeah, I don't see a cricket score, and I can honestly say that I think that it will be a very, very tight game, and it could determine one or two goals. It could be one of those games. So give me your starting 11 then for Manchester United.
Romero, because De Gea's injured. Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Brandon Williams. I mean, it'll be Young. I think it will be Young, but I'd prefer Williams in there. McTominay, you're gonna see Fred because Pogba's injured, and then, mate, I don't know. I reckon you'll probably end up seeing Jan James on the left, Mata as the 10. Pereira on the right, and Rashford through the middle. I reckon, mate. I do. I don't want that to happen, but I think that's what it'll go with.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you. I think this is what the Liverpool 11 will be. It's good. I think Alisson will come back in. I think because he is the better goalkeeper than Adrian. Adrian, to his credit, has played really well, but I just think that Alisson Becker will come back in. So I'm going for Alisson. Then your main back four: Trent Alexander-Arnold, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Andrew Robertson, and then Fabinho, Wijnaldum, Henderson, and then the front three: Mane, Salah, Fabinho.
Yeah.
Now, Mohamed Salah has never scored against Liverpool.
Because
he's
he's
never scored
rubbish.
against Man United, has he?
No, he's rubbish anyway, mate. So he's not rubbish. He's not rubbish. He's better than anyone on our team. No, it's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah.
He never really does very well against us, though.
No, Shaw had him in his pocket last season, didn't he? And,
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't perform very well against Man United, and I'm hoping that this is the game where we see him finally score, but we shall see. Right, I've obviously asked you how it's going to go. Give me your score prediction.
1-0 United.
Whoa. To be honest, I can see that happening as well. But I'm going to back the boys, aren't I? I think that we will have to be patient. Mm-hmm. I don't think you can defend for 90 minutes against us. I think we will get through it eventually. So I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. I'm going to keep it conservative because I think that it'll be like I said, a very, very tight game. I probably predict 0-0 at half time.
Yeah.
We'll probably score couple goals in the second half. But yeah, I am very wary of you guys on the pace, definitely.
Listen, it could, if you get an early goal, our heads go down because obviously we've not been playing very well, and it's probably in the back of their minds. If you could score in the first 5-10 minutes, our heads are going to go down, and then the floodgates could open. Do you know what I mean? Or it could wake us up. I don't know, mate. It's a hard game to call. It always is. United Liverpool always is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but I'm confident. I'm hoping we actually turn our fortunes around.
well, we shall see what happens on Sunday. It's quite a strange kickoff time, 4:30 on a Sunday, because it was the only Sunday game.
It's always like, I thought they usually put United Liverpool on early on, just so it stops, like, everyone's gonna be on the beer, aren't they, all day? So it's gonna be wild at Old Trafford.
Yeah, certainly will. Well, Karl, thank you very much for joining me. It's lovely to speak to you. Do you have anything to say before you go?
No. Just come see me on our channel, That Utd Family. Follow me on Twitter at Mr Karl Edgar.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I'll leave Karl's YouTube and his Twitter in the description below. But
and subscribe to Doug.
Thank you.
Almost 100 subs. Get on it. Subscribe.
Thank you very much. And I'll be back with more videos very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Bye bye for now.